federal government's free to enact whatever scheme, buyback program they wish, and we're certainly within our purview not to cooperate with it. But what is certainly within my purview as Attorney General is the ability to issue guidelines to the Alberta Crown Prosecution on what we think are priorities for that agency. Those are priorities that we expect to be followed, and that's what we're doing here with this review. That's what I'm doing here with this review, and I expect that the Minister of Public Safety will do the same when it comes to policing agencies in our province. So the direction and the advice and the guidelines that will be issued to the prosecution, at least in my capacity as Attorney General, and certainly in the capacity of Minister Ellis as the Minister for Public Safety as it relates to policing detachments, is that we want them to focus on priorities of serious and violent criminals. We expect those directions and guidelines to be followed, and that when there's no public interest in prosecuting people who are simply defending themselves and their loved ones, that we would not stand behind the move to prosecute law-abiding Albertans.
Federal government holds exclusive jurisdiction on criminal law, and that includes registration, licensing, and classification of firearms. And that was no surprise. The minister doesn't know how much firearms are out there in Alberta, and yet he's making policies about it. Other thing with respect to defending the property, I think Minister was stretching self-defense way too far. There is no such thing as self-defense of your property. Self-defense means that if there is an imminent threat to your person and the perception of threat is real, then you can take reasonable action that will be judged in the context of entire circumstance. And giving that kind of advice from podium to Albertans that they can somehow not comply with criminal law provisions, and somehow minister can issue guidelines and they would be not prosecuted, I think that's very dangerous.